This week in gaming is game sale galore, with Steam starting their annual winter sale, Epic Games giving out daily free games, and even game developers taking part in the festivities by giving you a chance to earn free shop skins in games like Marvel Rivals. So let's bundle it all together in this week's installment of Twig. Before we talk about anything relating to festive Christmas time, we have to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you have already heard all the numerous leaks and rumors online at this point regarding the Switch 2. It feels like every single month, every single year, we hear news about the Switch 2 is releasing this year, it's releasing this month, it'll be announced tomorrow, it'll be announced last week. My great-great-grandpa told me about the Switch 2. I know all of it. I actually invented Nintendo myself. And all of these leaks and stuff aside, it appears that we have the first final leaks that appear to be actually accurate, including D-Brand's newest Switch 2 case and a plethora of other accessories for the console that started being posted online. The reason why we believe these leaks are actually true is because these are actual big name brands and businesses that make accessories for tons of consoles and devices before, so it appears like they're just fed up with all the delays going on behind the scenes for the Switch 2, that they decided to go ahead and just leak their own accessories ahead of time. But most recently, we had a leak or rumor for the Switch 2 Pro controller. This will function most likely similar to an Xbox or PlayStation controller because they'll be adding a back GL and GR button, meaning that at the back of a Switch Pro controller, you'll actually have two buttons, one top, one bottom, on both sides for a total of 4 buttons, instead of how they currently do it where they only have 2 total buttons on the actual back. In terms of the actual shell and controller theme, it appears to be the exact same shape as the Switch 1 Pro controller, with the shell of the controller being black with gray buttons and joysticks. However, it will also feature a 3.5mm headphone jack, and it was also mentioned that the Joy-Cons are rumored to have Hall effect joysticks, which means that the Pro controller should have it as well. Now, I'm not an expert on what a Hall effect is, so I went ahead and Googled this, so take this next bit of information with a grain of salt as I read out what Google told me about this. So, Hall effect joysticks offer contactless operation, ensuring a long lifespan for the joysticks and allowing for very precise control, unlike mechanical joysticks. So at least from my understanding, it seems that this could actually help limit the stick drift issue we've had in the past this time around, and that would be a huge plus for all of us. However, I'm not a complete expert on Hall effects, so maybe someone in the comments down below has more information than I can provide you with. Similar to how Nintendo has Nintendogs, everyone else will be getting Catly in the very near future, a game that got showcased at the Game Awards with absolutely zero gameplay, making everyone suspicious on if it even existed or if it was some AI generated cryptocurrency scheme, since the developer behind this game has been known to make cryptocurrency games in the past. Due to the backlash online regarding this game, however, the developer Super Authentic showcased an official gameplay trailer recently which let us view what this game actually is, including a world building cat simulator where you can customize cats and customize the world around you, meaning that while the gameplay and graphics feel to be somewhat in an earlier stage, considering that the earlier footage we actually got had very detailed fur and everything, and this still has detailed fur but it doesn't feel at the same quality, it does show us that, hey, this game might actually exist, and this is going to be an actual product with actual game assets that you'll be able to play in the near future. I think the main issues with this game's announcement, however, was it was being advertised as a AAA open world MMO, because as much as I love cats, regardless of any of that, every time I hear the word MMO, I think of games like Warframe, Final Fantasy XIV, not a cat simulator game. But hey, you know, we have a long way to go before it releases, so maybe it does eventually end up becoming the modern era Nintendo, or I guess this time around, Nintendo Cats. Regardless of any of that, however, at the very least, it does appear that it isn't going to include cryptocurrencies at all, and the developers continue to deny that AI was actually used in the original trailer. Now, regardless if AI was used in the original trailer or not, I think that it's its own argument, but in terms of the game itself, it is just nice to know that, hey, this is something that would be playable one day, and isn't something that's just going to have a trailer and then fade into obscurity 2 months later and never ever even release on the Steam store. Not every game, however, can have the exact same praise and hopefulness to it as other games when it comes to AI usage, and potentially it causing a massive downside to the gaming experience as a player. Because we have a rough situation with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 that has kind of been digging itself deeper and deeper into recently. Now, for those who don't know, I'm a huge zombies fan. I can't think of a single Call of Duty Zombies game I haven't played. Even when it was aliens instead of zombies in Call of Duty Ghost, I still played it. Treyarch is my favorite company when it it comes to the Call of Duty Zombies experience. However, I can still criticize them due to certain, issues they have here and there. But it does appear like it seems that the company's latest use of artificial intelligence is going to cause my beloved mode to have a few rocky months towards it, and it could potentially worsen the mode overall. For those unaware, AI art has begun to be used in Black Ops 6 with tons of odd-looking calling cards that got slightly painted over to look more handmade, event art and loading screens featuring 6 fingers instead of 5, and poorly photoshopped in PNGs of gobblegums into AI-generated assets. It has basically become an AI revolution over there recently, and some voice actors for zombies have actually ended up getting recasted due to lack of AI protections. These voice actors include the voice of Zeke Alton as William Peck and Julie Nathanson as Samantha Maxis. And in the wildest turn of events, it appears that Treyarch is trying to fully erase that these voice actors even existed and erase what their impact to the game was, as when Samantha Maxis got a new voice actor who not only did voices for the new map that came out, Citadel de Mors, they also went ahead and went back to the older maps being Liberty Falls and Terminus and completely removed all of the voice lines from Julie's version of Samantha Maxis, replacing it with this new voice actor who, according to what I've tried researching online, we still don't even know the name of. This has actually caused an uproar in the Zombies community online of people feeling upset that the new voice of Samantha is not as sarcastic as the old one and feels rushed in some locations, some people wondering why they even went back to the older maps and replaced the old voice in those maps, considering in previous Call of Duty Zombie installments, when they had recasted certain characters, the old maps still use those old voice actors, and it feels like a lot of AAA games are in this whole entire situation where they're starting to use AI in one way or another, and as we continue going towards this future where gaming companies are trying to save a few bucks here and there by using AI in their games, we might see an even higher rise of the indie game industry because of them having such vibrant games that have soul and heart to them that don't really focus on AI artificial intelligence everywhere it goes. Now, there have also been some people in the Zombies community that didn't even notice that these changes to the voice acting was happening until after someone else called it out publicly, but I do want to know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about the situation? Does AI have a place in video games, or is it something that should be used as a tool, but it shouldn't cause people like voice actors to worry that they're going to be eventually replaced by an AI counterpart of themselves? Now, a moment ago, we talked about the rise of indie games, and I wanted to start a new permanent segment on this series, so welcome to the work in progress title, Ricky's Highlight Game segment. This week, I wanted to talk about 1000X Resist, which is a sci-fi adventure game where a disease spread by an alien invasion forces you to stay underground. You play the role of Watcher with the duty to fulfill your purpose in serving the All-Mother until you uncover a secret that actually changes everything. This game has a uniquely futuristic art style, bundled with the ability to relive and interpret the memories of the All-Mother, while also trying to uncover the truth of what's happening here and if the All-Mother is what she actually claims to be or not. Now, I won't lie, I found out about this game due to the collaboration it recently had getting a set of design cards in Balatro, but the 4 seconds I saw of this game in the Balatro trailer caught me immediately, and I feel like it's going to be a really cool world to get into and discover, so maybe you could discover along with me as I go ahead and start playing it very soon. It's currently on sale for 25% off on Steam, making it $14.99 instead of $19.99. So if you like a future sci-fi adventure theme, go ahead and check this game out, and if you don't want to take my word for it, let the awards it won speak for itself, as it was nominated for multiple awards and even won some of those in the past. Of course, every game we talk about in this segment, regarding my highlight game, might not end up being an indie game. It could be a fully fleshed out game, or it could be a game from like 7 years ago, so this segment is going to continue to evolve as I continue to evolve with playing new games, but hopefully we can make it a permanent feature on this channel to spotlight certain things that I think you should go ahead and try out if you're looking for a new experience. Speaking of sales and trying out new games, however, it's time to talk about the Steam Winter Sale and Epic Games freebies. Now, the Steam Winter Sale is active right now until January 2nd, 2025, with a huge selection of games currently available for you. Some games like Firewatch, South Park: The Stick of Truth, The Forest, State of Decay 2, Need for Speed Heat, Titanfall 2, and more is being made available for under $4 each. So everywhere you look, almost every game in the world is basically on sale right now. Of course, not actually every game is going to be on sale, but a huge, massive chunk of games is definitely out there for you to treat yourself this holiday season. Some other games on sale include Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, Helldivers Helldivers 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth and its DLCs, Stardew Valley, and more. So you can definitely go ahead and pick up some free games on the Steam store, and also check out your discovery queue to get free stickers that you could send to your friends in the Steam chat feature if you actually use it. Before, the Steam discovery queue actually gave you cards in order to make actual card packs, you know, to get little icons and banners and stuff for your profile, but this time around it just gives you stickers. But hey, a free reward is a free reward at the end of the day. On the other end of the spectrum, Epic Games is giving out free games daily, with Vampire Survivors being the game that was made available for free yesterday, however it's no longer free, and today being Asteria, the Six-Sided Oracles. These games are only available to claim for 24 hours, so if you miss a day, that game gets vaulted for good, requiring you to purchase it at its normal price if you wanted to pick it up and play it. So definitely go ahead and check the Epic Games Store daily if you are a PC player, or even if you're not, so if you get a PC in the future, you have some free games available to figure out if they've got a free game for you today, tomorrow, or maybe even next week. On the topics of celebrating the Christmas time, we gotta talk about Marvel Rivals. The game recently hit 20 million players, and if you log into the game, you get a free spray. In the near future, you'll be able to get a free winter-themed Jeff the Shark bundle, and on top of that, between now being the 20th all the way to around the 22nd to 23rd, if you manage to get in a game with a select content creator that is streaming Marvel Rivals over on social media, you know, on Twitch, you'll be able to get one free shop bundle entirely added to your account without having to worry about anything. So if you manage to get lucky in the lottery of the quick play queues that last like 1 second before you get in a match, you could end up walking home with a free bundle to drip out yourself even more this holiday season. Overall though, it is nice to see that Marvel Rivals has taken the world by storm recently with how much it's kind of been evolving and how it's made the hero shooter genre feel fun once again, because I got tired of Overwatch 2 a while ago, and this feels like a breath of fresh air, especially with all of the Marvel characters actually put into it. I can only wait and imagine what other characters we end up seeing down the line. Now in a little bit of somber gaming news this Christmas season, we have to talk about XDefiant. XDefiant released its final major content update to the game, and with it they basically published a developer build of the game, allowing you to use basically any cosmetic in the entirety of the game's existence, including old battle pass cosmetics and even cosmetics that weren't even set to release in season 3, but were set to release multiple seasons away from now. Now, as you may or may not know, this game will be shutting down in 2025, and they already disabled the ability for you to register and download the game anymore, except if you're on a console and you played the game before, you can re-download it there and then. But if you're someone who has never played XDefiant, you won't be able to enjoy it at all, and the servers end up getting shut down in like June or July of 2025. But with this update, they ended up adding so many different new maps, factions, game modes, cosmetics, and more, such as factions including assassins from Assassin's Creed, wolves and blood dragons, all of these of which are of course from the different Ubisoft gaming franchises, and they also added a ton of new modes such as Diffuse versus Bots, Lum Hunt, Tilt, and Turbo XD. Now, as someone who always plays bot lobby modes in games like Fortnite, it is sad to see that they actually had an official bot supported mode that I could see myself playing in the free time, where you would have gained XP a little bit slower than normal, but you would have been able to verse bots that won't actually ever be fully fleshed out because of the fact that the game is basically just going to go and shut down. It did feel like this game had a life to it, and it did feel like it could have been a Call of Duty competitor, especially during a time when Call of Duty's kind of been fumbling with all the little issues in their games. The most recent Black Ops 6 event, for example, actually had an issue where it just kind of auto-completed for me day one, but it is at the end of the day something you can play before it eventually gets shut down, assuming you've at least launched it once before. Now, it's honestly really sad to see that the developers find out that their game had so much planned for it, and it's going to be shut down sooner than expected, because they had so much actually planned for this game. They had multiple seasons planned out, multiple battle passes, all of the maps, factions, and modes and everything were supposed to slowly release over time, but then out of the blue, they just kind of got hit on the head with, hey, your game's shutting down, sorry bud, and they just kind of had to deal with it. So it is nice to see that they're at least releasing all that content out for us to actually enjoy and actually play on before the end of XDefiant's lifespan. Now, if you're someone who might be speculative, like, oh, the developers probably knew that the game was going to get shut down beforehand, I want to point out a few things. In their actual gameplay overview for Season 3, they mentioned a lot of new improvements to like the progression system and everything else. They mentioned the Season 3 Battle Pass, even though the Battle Pass got completely scrapped since all the cosmetics are now unlocked, and they had so much they were actually doing. I was in the weekly cosmetic program for this game, so every single week when a new cosmetic hit the item shop, they ended up giving it to me for free so I could go ahead and use it in matches to kind of promote the skins to other people playing the game, and despite that, it just feels like it all came out of the blue to all of them, to the point where leakers knew that the game was going to get shut down before the developers on the game knew themselves, which I think is just a shocking thing overall, that the leakers could know your game's going to go bye-bye before even you know that your game's going to go bye-bye that you're currently working on at the same time. And on top of all this situation, it does feel like Ubisoft is planning for a huge shift in the near future as they started adding achievements to all of the old Steam games for the first time ever, so maybe in a few years we end up using a system where Ubisoft games no longer end up requiring the Ubisoft Connect hub for experiences at all, and all the achievements, all the rewards and everything else are just there locally on whatever device you actually play or whatever platform you actually play on. It does feel like a very, very odd time for Ubisoft though, and it kind of sucks, but at the same time, you know, if I get my achievements for Watch Dogs on Steam, oh, I'm gonna replay all of the Watch Dogs games over and over again. Now, for our final news topic of the week, we have to talk about Borderlands 4. Sim Winkler, the narrative director for the game over on Twitter, stated that there was an overabundance of toilet humor in Borderlands 3 and wants to cut back on how many toilet jokes were made for the upcoming Borderlands 4 game. He also states that he will cry real tears if the word skibbity ends up making its way into Borderlands 4 under his watch, which, you know, maybe Fortnite could take some notes from there, but it's whatever. They also went ahead and mentioned that there was already a joke made by a game journalist, Paul Tassi, that mentioned that they would reference the Hawk 2 meme with a Hawk 2A gun, causing an actual developer to ask him if it was real, and honestly, it's going to be interesting to see how Borderlands 4 plays out without trying to delve too deep into modern brain rot memes and culture, and how it will hold up to the test of time similar to jokes that we saw with Borderlands 2. I've played basically every Borderlands shooter game that has actually ended up releasing before, however, Borderlands 3 was the one that frankly I played the least out of every single Borderlands game, so here's to hoping that Borderlands 4 hits that sweet spot that keeps me engaged the full time through, but either way, maybe Skibbity Toilet ends up making its way into Borderlands 4 somehow under some certain radar. But that's all we have time for this week on Twig. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for next week when we probably yell at Ubisoft once again for making even more dumb choices. Stay safe out there this holiday season and enjoy the holidays, so if you're watching this around Christmas time, Merry Christmas and peace out.